Welcome back to the channel, guys. I know it's been a while since the last time I seen you, so I just want to say happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. We got more projects for the car this year. Today, as you can see in the beginning of the video and the title, car needs ball joints. Squeaking really bad. So what we're gonna do is jack the car up, get the ball joints on, show you guys how we do this. Probably should have done this when I redid the front end on the car. It's my fault, being lazy. Should have done it while I had everything apart, but I didn't. So we're gonna do it now, and makes another video for you guys to watch. So, all right, we got the car in the garage. Here she go right here. So, yeah. We're gonna head and get her jacked up. Sorry about this camera work, but it's been a while. We're gonna get her jacked up, get the wheels off, and take a look at her, show you condition of the ball joints, show you the new one. Yes, we still have more projects that I'm still waiting to do. Just haven't had time. Took some time off from YouTube. I spent the holidays with the family, brought in the New Year's with the family, celebrated birthdays. So yeah, just living life, working. Just took some time off spent some time with the family. But now we're gonna get back into this YouTube and start making videos again. And I know y'all been asking a lot of questions online. And I've been trying to keep up and answer. So, it is what it is. Everybody has a life to live, so we do the best we can and, try to make it work. Also been working on other business ventures. Like I said, I have another YouTube channel I'm working on. Haven't put it out yet, but when it's ready, I'll let you guys know and we'll get it started. So for right now, we're gonna focus on Project CL500. I want you guys to go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely smash that subscribe button because we got some real interesting videos. We also came this close to having an addition to the family. A guy was selling a CL600, and I'm so upset I missed out on it. Well, basically, that'll be a story for another time. But right now, we're gonna go ahead and get this ball rolling. Go ahead and get this car jacked up. And actually, for me, it'll be the next day when I actually start this because it's getting dark right now. But for you guys, it'll be in a second. So here we go. All right, guys, as promised, it's the next day. It's sunny out today, as y'all can see, but it's cold. It is real cold today and windy, as you could probably hear. Let me back up a little bit. As you could probably hear, it's cold and windy today. So we have the car jacked up. Try not to trip. As you can see, got the car jacked up. Got the wheel off. Ready to get to work. So, like I said, we're going to be replacing the lower ball joint on the car. So I'm going to be recording and showing you guys step by step what I do. Okay, guys, so to start, you're going to have to take off these bolts for your skid plate underneath your cover, your plastic cover. They are an 8mm. So if you have an 8mm wrench or a ratchet, whatever you want to use, you can use that to get them off. So we're gonna go ahead and start by taking that off. And the reason you need to take that off is to get to this bolt right here, because it sits on this cover right here. You're gonna have to take this lower plate off, and you really don't, sorry about that, you really don't have to take this whole piece off. You just need to take off a couple of bolts so you can get up under it, so you can get to that bolt right there. and be able to take off the thrust arm. So like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get all this done, and let's start off by taking off the bolts. Alright, so we're going to be replacing the lower ball joint, which would be this bad boy right here. As you can see, it's really gunked up and busted and really no good anymore. So I believe this is the culprit that's causing the squeaking. We're going to clean it up, and we're going to have to take it loose, see if I can get the camera in there somehow. I'm not sure if I can, but we're going to have to take the bolts off. So we're going to have to take this arm right here loose, lower control arm. We're going to have to undo these right here. I'm going to clean this up as well. A lot of road grind for me to just replace this. But yeah, we're going to have to take this coilover struts loose with this bolt right here. Not sure if I'm going to have to remove this thrust arm, but I might have to get clearance to take the ball joint out, because as you can see, it's like touching almost. So yeah, I might have to take that loose. But that's pretty much it. Just this lower control arm, the thrust arm if needed, which is this arm right here, connects to here, and the coilover. You remove those three things, and you should be able to have clear access to the lower ball joint and be able to take it out. I have the tool, and I'll show you guys the tool when it's time for me to pull the ball joint out. But as you see, that's the bottom, and that's where we're going to be pushing it through, hopefully through the top, to get it out. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you step by step. So yeah, so now we're going to do the thrust arm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray some PV Blaster or either WD-40, one of the two, whichever one I have, on the bolt, the nut and the bolt, and let it set for a little bit, because this is the original part to this car, so it's never been taken off since it's been put on in the factory. You will use a 21mm wrench or socket or whatever you can get in there. You can probably use a socket on this side. Won't be able to use one on this side. Have to use a wrench. But some people, they take this cover right here off. I'm not taking that off. I'm just pushing it back, and it gives you plenty of space in there to put a wrench on that. So it's a 21 millimeter. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray the PB Blaster. I'm gonna do most of this work off camera, then I'm gonna just go through step by step what I did. It's a lot easier for me because I don't have much space under this car. So yeah, I'm gonna start with a 21 millimeter, and I'll be back when the PB Blaster has worked. All right, so I know it's looking a mess right now, but I got the thrust arm loose with the 21 millimeter ratchet and wrench. So that's all you need for that. And also 21 millimeter for the bolt on the end of the thrust arm. And I'm going to use a ball joint separator to break the rest loose. And that, I believe, on this particular one is a 19 millimeter to use this ball joint separator. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this loose so I can remove the thrust arm and have more access to the lower control arm. And this way we can go ahead and take the strut loose, the coilover, and we can also break loose the lower control arm. That's a 21 millimeter as well. And yeah, we'll be halfway through with this project. So, as you can see, you have to be really careful when it comes to breaking loose these ball joints. I would recommend leaving the top bolt in. Don't do what I did. As you can see how that could have been really bad if I was underneath the car. So, yeah. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I probably won't do that again. So, see, this ball joint is pretty much worn as well. I should replace this thrust arm. I might do that. So the video might take a little longer than I expected. But yeah, it came out with some good force, as you can see. So I would definitely recommend leaving that top bolt in when you go to take these ball joints out. I'm going to leave it in. I'm going to take this lower control arm out because these do come out, like you see, with a lot of force. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this lower control arm now. And the strut, I keep saying strut, the coilover. We're going to loosen out the coilover and gain access to the ball joint. And we're going to go ahead and replace this ball joint. And like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and order a new thrust arm because this right here, I don't believe it should have that much play in it. I could be wrong, but the boot doesn't look in bad shape at all. But we'll see. We'll get this all put back together and we'll see. But I believe I might end up replacing this thrust arm. All right, so I got the bolts loose on the lower control arm. So now I'm just leaving them loose for right now. I'm not going to take them all the way off like I did the thrust arm. So now we're going to take the set screw out of the strut, I keep saying strut, the coilover. So to do that, you will need a T30. One of these. The little star bits, it's a T30. So you're gonna use that. And you have to slowly take those out. You can't turn them too fast because you might strip them. And you strip those, you're gonna catch hell trying to get them out. And let you know from experience, because that's what happened to me when I did the coilover conversion. These stripped out, trying to take the hydraulic shocks off. Ended up having to drill them out to get the hydraulic strut off. So I don't want to have to do that with these coilovers, because I really don't want to mess these up. So I'm going to take the coilover off, and then I will loosen this up pretty much all the way, but I'm going to leave the bolt in, and then I can get the ball joint out. Then I'll take those out, and then we can take out the old ball joint and replace the new one. So that's where I'm at right now. So after I get all that done, I'll get back to you, show you what I did, and show you the steps that I took. All right, so we got the lower control arm out. It's right here on the ground. This is the ball joint. Let me try to get a shot. The ball joint is bad. As you can see, it's wiggling all over the place. Shouldn't be doing that. So we have the new ball joint right here. This is what's going in. So we're going to replace this. Well, this is the replacement. We're going to be replacing this one. I used my tool, ball joint separator, to take it off. This one wasn't as bad. Nowhere close to being as bad. It was just a little tiny pop. It really wasn't nothing to show. But yeah, we got this one. We're going to take this one out. We have the kit here. And if I open up the kit, this is what the kit looks like. And this one is specifically for Mercedes-Benz. So we just use basically, let's see which one. Not sure which one it is. It's one of these. Oh, let me take this off. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me take this nut off, and I can show you this one. Yes, this one, get it on camera, will fit flush on the ball joint. So we'll go ahead and get that in. But first we have to take the old one out. And then we can put the new one in. So get the old one out. It's pretty much put the big piece up here on top. Not sure that's gonna hold it. See what sizes we have. Here we go. So that's the piece that goes on top. So we put, basically, all this really is a C-clamp. But we're gonna put that on and put the electric ratchet on it and pop this ball joint out. Okay, so we'll get everything hooked up. All right, guys, so off camera, I went ahead and got the ball joint out. As you can see, this one is pretty much toast. What I did was I used my ball joint remover tool, and I removed it with this. This gave me the clearance that I needed, because as you can see, I really didn't have that much room underneath. So this is my other impact wrench I had. There was no way I was getting that under there as big as this one is. It didn't have the clearance to use this. This is real powerful. It's an electric impact wrench. I mean, impact gun. So that one compared to this one, you can see is a big, huge difference. I was kind of skeptical about this doing the job, but it actually did the job. It got the ball joint out. no problem. Didn't struggle at all. I bought this chemo off of Amazon for about $100. It came with a charger, one battery, a bag. Sorry about the mess. It came with some extensions and sockets with it. But yeah, it's a chemo impact gun. Like I said, I got it off Amazon for $100. It did the job. I used a 24 millimeter impact socket. So let me see if I get that on there for y'all. 24 millimeter. Did the job, got it done. Now I'm ready to install the new ball joint, which I put a little grease on it already, which is right here. Sorry that the camera's all over the place, but I'm underneath the car right now. But I got the new one. I'm gonna install that. I'm gonna clean out from around the old hole first so there's no debris or anything, so the ball joint doesn't catch on anything. 24 millimeter used this is what I use for my ball joint tool. And I use this little small chemo impact gun, which really helped out. Because with my other one, it was way too big. I didn't have the clearance under here. As you can see, I got the car jacked up as high as I can get it. So this car does sit low because I lowered it. That's the only issue with these cars. Go ahead and install the new one. Get this side done. Put everything back together. And we should be good to go. We got everything put back together. I torqued down all my bolts. I got the new thrust arm in, as you can see. I'm sorry I can't get a better angle, but I don't have much room underneath the car. I got it jacked up as high as I can get it, but the car is lowered, so yeah, you have to bear with me, guys. Okay, this should be a better angle. So we got the new ball joints in, both of them. New thrust arm in. So I'm going to put all the torque specs down in the description below so you know what I torqued them down to, what size sockets that I used. One thing that you do have to do is you have to torque these down under curb weight. This top bolt here, you don't have to torque down on the curb weight. You can go ahead and torque it down while it's in the air. I believe this one is 60 foot-pounds. But the rest of these, you have to torque them down under curb weight. And you also have to turn them a certain amount of degrees for each one after you torque them down. So I'll put all that information in the description below so you can see what I did. But yeah, so basically the front suspension on this car is brand new. Everything except for the tie rods. And I have the tie rods, but I haven't changed them yet. And the only reason I haven't changed them yet because mine are still good. As soon as they go bad and my wheel alignment goes out of whack, I will be changing them. I thought my wheel alignment was out of whack before because of my tie rods, but it wasn't. It was because of my ball joints were very bad. To the point where I really shouldn't have been driving this car. But everything's good now. Both sides As you can see, brand new thrust arms on both sides, brand new lower control arms on both sides, brand new upper control arms on both sides, brand new ball joints all around, new bushings. Yeah, so the only thing I haven't changed yet were my tie rods. Like I said, they're I still have the brand new one sitting in the box. But so I'm waiting to change those as soon as these goes bad. But I don't see the point in changing them. There's nothing wrong with the ones I already have. They're still good. So I'm gonna leave them on for now. The car should ride fine. It was riding fine when I did the other side. So we'll see. I'll go ahead and throw the wheels back on, and I'm going to double check all the bolts and nuts after I get on the curb weight on the ground once again. But I did use my jack stand to put it on the curb weight, and the way you could do that is a little trick that I learned. You can put the jack underneath your rotor and lift on your rotor. Now, don't lift the car all the way up with your rotor, but just enough to where you see it start to barely move off of the jack stands that I have. So once I seen it move just a little tiny bit, I knew it was resting on it. So that should simulate curb weight, theoretically. So I went ahead and torqued them down like that. But I am going to put it on ramps just to be sure, torque them down one more time, make sure that they're set, and should be good to go. All right, guys, so if you're going to do this job, you're going to need something that's going to be able to press in those ball joints because it's not easy. So what I did, I used this right here, the Extreme Torque Air Impact Wrench from Earthquake. It's rated at 1,700 foot-pounds of torque. This is the gun right here that I used, as you can see. And I had to use, if I could focus in on that, a 24 millimeter, 3/4, a 24 millimeter, 3/4 inch. Sorry about that. Which is kind of hard to find. But this is what I use. I ordered the socket off of Amazon. So that's where I got my socket from. You can just type in the search bar and find the socket that you need. But yeah, this is the air gun that I use to press in my ball joints. Works pretty easy. Only trouble I had was because the car, it sits so low that it's hard for me to get it jacked up high enough to actually get the gun up under there once you get it up under there. Because the ball joint kit, basically, sorry about the mess, but the C-clamp, you see how long it is, it almost touches the floor when you're doing the ball joints. So you got to get it jacked up pretty high, and you have to kind of turn it at an angle and push it up under there. It really helps when you use a floor jack to pick up the rotor and get it up high enough as well. And you have to kind of maneuver it from there, but it can be done. I did it. So like I said, this is what I use. I needed around 120 to 150 PSI on my tank that I have sitting back there. So if you're going to do this job at home, this is pretty much what you're going to need. Because other than that, it's going to be damn near impossible. I've seen people with videos where they turned it with torque bar, a breaker bar. You're going to be there all day trying to do that with the breaker bar, I'm telling you now. So get the gun. I got this from Harbor Freight. I think it was somewhere around $300 to $400 range. And I know that might be out of some people's budget, but I mean, if you're doing ball joints, you need the tools to do them. So this is what I used. So this is what you're going to have to get. All right, guys, this is the ball joint that came out. So you can see how bad this ball joint is. You shouldn't be able to do this so easily to your ball joint. So as you can see, this was pretty much shot. This is what came off the car. So I got the new one in now. And yeah, it was pretty bad. I could freely move it all the way around, twist it. Yeah, so this ball joint was shot. So that's why I replaced all my ball joints. And I went ahead and replaced my lower control arms and my upper control arms. Everything except for my tie rods basically was replaced on the front end. And I'm going to show you what the lower control arm looked like. That came off. So basically this was the condition of the lower control arm. As you can see, get a good angle. The bushings inside are pretty much done. This ball joint that's connected to the end, this is one of the main reasons why. You can see it's like just torn apart and it's moving around as well. This ball joint is shot. Your ball joint shouldn't move around like this. It should be a little hard. You should feel resistance when you try to move your ball joints. And you see when I move it, it flexes back. It should not do that. When you move your ball joint, it should stay in the position that you move it to. But you could tell just by looking at this, it's like just coming apart. It's done. So that's why I replaced my control arms. If you have older model Mercedes, I suggest you do the same thing because your ball joints are probably looking the same way. And as you can see, let me try to get a close up. You can see it still says Mercedes Benz on it. So these were the original ones that came with the car. They've never been changed. So this is why I changed it. So yeah, so now this front end suspension, it's pretty much brand new. Everything's brand new except for, like I said, the tie rods. So we're going to keep those on until they fail or they start to fail. They start showing signs of failing, then I'm going to go ahead and replace those. But for now, I'm going to keep those on. Like I said, I already got the new one still here, so we can do that right away. But that's it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get notifications when I post new videos. Also, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and I am now on TikTok. So you can follow me there on too at Project CL500. And yeah, I told you guys we were getting this car together. Once I'm done with this car, I promise you, this car is be better than most cars that are brand new on the road. I'm going to be rebuilding this car from the ground up, as you can see, and we're getting there. So next project is on the way, so stay tuned. Love you guys. I'm out.